Hi everyone, welcome to a new studio vlog. This week I have been working on more prints and stickers for the shop and just loosening up with making art again, and I'm also doing some Blender stuff. I'm gonna check a little bit out here. But I'm so excited because last night I was doodling in Procreate and I keep a list of all the random little thoughts that pop into my head for like prompts or things that I want to draw. And then last night I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something about that. And I did it, and I really like the print that I've made. I'm so hyped. Honestly, even if no one buys it in the shop, I'm gonna stick it on my wall because I love it so much. Look at that. I just love it so much. Hang on, I think the brightness is too much for my face. A little kitten on his way to work on his scooter, and he's a chef, and I don't know, the adrenaline and endorphins are very high at the moment because I've done something that I actually like. It's been a really long time since I've made something I'm like, I would stick that on my wall. I like that. So yeah, this print will be in the shop alongside some other ones. Originally I was going to paint this, but then I was like, no, it's looking so good in Procreate, I'm just going to neaten it up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do, and then afterwards I've found some old drawings and sketches that I made ages ago when I made my Eggy Boys, the Eggy sticker sheet. So this is the original sketch. Come on, focus. So this is the original sketch, and then I made all sorts of other little sketches and stuff as well. So this is the thing that I'm going to be painting today. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be trying out my new faber-castell Polychromos pencils and maybe some Holbein. Holbein? How do you say it? I don't know. I haven't had an energy drink today, but I'm looking back on this, it's probably going to seem like I have. But yeah, so I'm going to try out my new Holbein Acryla Gouache. Gouache? Tell me how you say it, because in UK schools everyone always says gouache, but I've noticed in a lot of vlogs people are saying gouache. So gouache, either way, very excited about that. Today is hopefully going to be very productive. Oh no, it's gone. So I took a picture of that and brought it in to Procreate. So this was the first colorway that I kind of doodled, and I changed the little guys to bird. Then I think I want to adjust this bit and move it that way a bit because it's a bit blank just here. But this is the second colorway, which I really love. It has big risograph vibes, but I think this one is my favorite. So it's kind of like a dusty orange mustard yellow in the background, and then we have a blue and purple tree stump and little flower things. So I think I'm going to go with number 3, and I'm just going to turn the screen so it doesn't move around, and then I'm going to transfer it to my sketchbook. Don't know how to do it though. Lock iPad screen. Lock iPad screen. Press the round button 3 times. Did I?
So it's voiceover time. I hope your day is going well and you're not currently suffering in a heatwave like the UK is right now. Usually I like the heat, but working in my office has felt like I'm animating in the fiery pits, and I'm now very much looking forward to autumn and spooky season. Now, I haven't painted anything in years, so this was both a fun and frustrating exercise because I used to paint all the time, but obviously as I haven't been keeping up the practice, this first attempt didn't exactly go to plan. In the beginning, I wanted to double tap the paper to undo and zoom in and out with a pinch, And if that's not a sign that I need to do more traditional stuff, I don't know what is. The sketchbook I'm using is a soft cover Strathmore mixed media sketchbook. I think I paid about £25 for it, which is the most expensive sketchbook I've ever bought. But I do really like the paper, the way it holds wet media, and there's very little buckling even under quite a lot of layers, which is great, so definitely worth it. I'll leave links to the brushes and paints in the description if you want to check them out as well. So in the beginning, I think I made a good start. I enjoyed tracing the sketch and adding the flat colours, but as I got more into the painting, I might have panicked a bit, and I couldn't just double tap or undo or adjust the colours with a slider. I tried to use other colours when I decided I didn't like where it was going anymore, but I just made it worse and ended up starting the whole thing again. So I didn't want to wait until the sketchbook was fully dry, so I put that to one side and brought out some watercolour paper I bought ages ago from Hobbycraft. And then I just lined the edges with some of my washi tape to help get a clean edge. This paper was a lot more textured, it was thicker, and I decided to switch up the colour reference I was using on my iPad. Thankfully, the painting did turn out better this second time. The camera doesn't really do it justice, but these paints are so vibrant. They have a shiny finish, but they also dry super quickly both on the paper and in the palette. So I definitely want to try using more water with them next time to see how I can get different effects with them. I bought this set from Jackson's Art because I think it was one of the few places that actually stocked Holbein in the UK, and it worked a lot cheaper than if I'd picked out all the tubes individually. But if you do sign up through the link in the description, you should get 10% off your first purchase of whatever takes your fancy. So what I think really pulled this all together was using colouring pencils on top to add the details to the rest of the painting. If I needed to go over anything else or I made a mistake, it was easy to fix with another layer of paint and then just try again once it was dry. The paintbrushes I'm using were just a budget watercolour set from Amazon. They didn't shed during either painting, which was great, though I also realised while I was making this that I prefer using the flat brushes more, so I'm going to take a look at getting some others in different sizes ready for my next painting. And this was the finished result, which is definitely much better than my first attempt, so I'm glad I stuck with it. I then took a break and came back to the painting the next day to check it over, and while I was still happy that I'd finished the painting, there was quite a bit I'd change. So I decided to finish the digital sketch as well. At the moment, I have a lot more experience and control with digital painting, so it just made sense to me that this would be the final print that went in my shop. Parts of it were layered with different blending modes and opacities, so it looked a little like a risograph print, which I loved. Sometimes vlogs can make it look like you're working at 100% all the time, but that's really not the case, especially since I cycle through my favourite shirts but don't always film every day, so I might skip a few days or a week and end up filming 2 clips that look very similar. I promise you I'm not 100% productive all the time. I take rests and breaks, and sometimes I just do very boring admin work, so don't feel pressured that you're not being productive all the time or you haven't made as much as you think other people are. So it's actually a few days later when I finish up the new Woodland Birds print and the Cat Chef print with its new sticker. For this one, I used a weatherproof paper as the base, and then I decided to cover it with a clear vinyl just to give it some extra protection. I did mess up a couple of sheets with a streaky printer. I then accidentally creased the vinyl on another, and on my third, my silhouette went rogue and decided cutting in the completely wrong place. But I did manage to get a few sheets that worked perfectly and used the extra space on the sticker paper to fill up with minis that I'll then use as freebies in orders. I've looked into getting stickers manufactured, mainly for different effects like mirror or holographic materials that I couldn't make on my own. And after making these, I can definitely see why more people just get the stickers manufactured, especially if you're doing high quantity orders, because the extra steps and the time it takes, and also the mess ups and mishaps with cutting machines and printers, they all can be very temperamental. So I definitely see why people do that. There are a couple of companies that I want to try out for sticker production and different merch options, but it's still early days. I will let you know if I go forward with any of that. If you watched this far, you're amazing. I hope you enjoyed watching the vlog as much as I enjoyed making it. I've had a few orders on the shop already, which is super exciting, and I'm so grateful for anyone who did. Thank you so much. If you like this video and want to see more stuff from me, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more art and videos real soon. Bye!